look at this video from last week in the United Kingdom.
No. Just wish Hampshire police would realise how ridiculous this is.
It is ridiculous.
It is. Well, good. I'm
glad to come to this.
What did it need to come to?
Tell us why you escalated it to this level, because I don't understand. I posted something that he posted. You come to arrest me. You don't arrest him. Why has it come to this? Why am I in cuffs? Because there's something he shared, then I shared.
Because someone has been caused, obviously, anxiety based upon your social media page. That's the reason why you've been arrested.
The anxiety caused by your social media post. Well, I think that I'm anxious just watching them talk about someone be anxious and arresting a man. Well, that video was filmed by a man with nerves of steel, and I'm delighted to say he joins us now. His name is Lawrence Fox. He's the leader of the Reclaim Party in the United Kingdom. He's also involved with the Bad Law Project, which is a wonderful name. We'll talk a little bit more about him, but mainly we want to talk about this case. Lawrence Fox joins us now via Skype from the UK. Lawrence, great to have you on the show. I'm a fan and a follower of yours on social media. You cause me some anxiety, but I don't think I would ever sick the cops on you for causing me that anxiety. Tell us a little bit more about who that man was that was being arrested, and what did he do to make people so anxious that the cops thought they'd have to arrest him?
It's lovely to see you, Ezra, and I'm glad that I caused you anxiety. That's the whole fun of social media, isn't it? Well, actually, the man's name is Darren Brady. He's a decorated military veteran from the Light Infantry in Great Britain, which Army regiment, Army battalion and regiment held in high esteem in this country. And it's actually my fault, this whole thing, because on the first day of the holy month of Pride, I took a meme that had been circulating of these 4 progressive pride flags put together, and when they're put together edge to edge, they create the shape of a swastika. And I thought, seeing as Pride is about, absolute obedience to this trans ideology and this progressive Pride movement, I thought I'd compare it to Nazism, essentially, because if you walk down the main shopping street in London in Pride Month, it is like a Nuremberg rally. It's just Pride flags across the street, and sure to form, Twitter took me down for it, and I had to apologize to the great Twitter police. Then this man, Darren Brady, who obviously served our country with pride, reposted the meme on Facebook in a group and said, "What do we think of this?" And for that, he was reported to the police for what they call a non-crime hate incident, causing of offence. Essentially, it comes out of a set of guidance, and it has a long history. But anyway, you can tell by the title of it that it's completely ridiculous as an idea, a non-crime crime. So he was visited by the police. We have noticed in the UK that these political ideologies, these very, very leftist political ideologies, have taken root in every one of our national institutions. You can see it in Canada as well, and across the former liberal West. And he was visited by the police, by 3 of them on a Sunday morning, and they started to harass him. So he told them that he to go away and come back in a week, which they did. And in the meantime, he called us, the Bad Law Project, and we went down there and we decided that we would film the police's interaction with this man to see just how they would behave. And, the footage went absolutely viral. I think it's gone to sort of 4.5 million views now, as you see the police trying to police the inside of someone's mind when 7 out of 10 coppers in London, coppers being policemen here, haven't made an arrest in a year. But only 5% of burglaries are solved. So real crime is at a record high in the UK. But they managed to find, in the end, 7 officers and 2 vans to arrest 2 thought criminals. And it's just an example of how dreadfully Britain is falling now in the face of these, our foundational institutions overtaken by wokery.
Well, help me out with this, and maybe there is no good answer to it. if it is a, quote, non-crime hate incident, I wrote that down carefully because that is quite a pretzel, isn't it? I mean, is it a crime or not? And if it's not a crime, why are the cops here on a Sunday morning? So if it's a non-crime, how do you arrest someone for a non-crime? What was the reason they arrested him? Because he wouldn't talk with them, he wouldn't go quietly. Did they finally charge him with some sort of crime? That's the puzzle for me, is how do you get arrested for a non-crime?
Exactly. This is the problem. Well, there was the police have made a litany of mistakes here, and there will be a film actually which we'll put out tomorrow. I'm really happy to send it to you, and you'll see. Essentially, it's Section 127 of the Public Order Act, which was intended, causing someone gross offence or something like this, that came about several years ago. But what the non-crime is actually. The history of it is quite noble, but because it came about as a result of Stephen Lawrence, who was murdered in a racist murder in the UK, and the police, the Macpherson report, found that if they had been able to follow and look for these racist killers, vile racist murderers who killed Stephen Lawrence before they committed the act, then maybe they would be able to have stopped the act taking place. But obviously now it's just been overtaken by the woke people. Mr. Brady was not charged. Harry Miller, the co-founder with myself and others of the Bad Law Project, was arrested for obstructing the police because he said he hasn't committed a crime, so you cannot arrest him. And he was released. Darren was taken into the cells, dragged out in front of his neighbours and his local community, and he was dragged into a police van, taken to the cells, and released 90 minutes later without charge. It was a shakedown. That's what it was. It was an attempt to, and bearing in mind that I was the person that created the meme in the first place, I was just very surprised that I wasn't arrested. That was why I was there. I was like, I did it. Why are you not arresting me? But in true to form, the British police decide to get the small guy. So they'll go and get the small guy, scare him and his community, rather than go after me.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you have cops come to your home. They're saying, we know where you live. We're watching you. We're not bound by any rules that you might think. We don't have to have a real crime here. We're coming here, and every one of your neighbors can see we're coming here. So be embarrassed and be scared. It's a psychological attack. I wonder if these same police would show such courage in British cities like Rotherham or Telford or Rochdale or any of the places where literally thousands of young British girls have been raped on a systemic basis again and again and again by these rape gangs, or they're sometimes called grooming gangs. I don't think that's a strong enough word. The police, according to government inquiries, say they were afraid of being called racist, so they literally did not stop these industrial scale rape rooms. But boy, they got time to go after. You say there were 7 cops in the end that went after this Facebook meme. 7, eh?
Yeah. In the end, there were 7 cops who could be. Hampshire burglary is. You're lucky nowadays in the UK and in Hampshire as well. If your house is burgled, you're lucky if a policeman will attend. So, and as you say, the problem with political policing, which is what we have in the UK, is that they will only police certain things. And as you say, grooming gang's not a strong enough word for it. It's systemic rape. They were too frightened, and this division caused in society by assuming or calling everyone a racist if they happen to try and solve a crime that involves somebody from a different ethnicity has left thousands and thousands of victims, young women, utterly abandoned by the justice system. And yet, as you say, come and police someone's thoughts. It's a sign of a completely broken legal system and policing system. And I can't really think about what to do to mend it other than to disband the police force and rehire it and get a new one.
What you just saw was an excerpt from my nightly show, the Ezra Levant Show. Every weekday, I do a monologue. Usually it's about half an hour. Then I interview an interesting guest, and then we read my hate mail or my fan mail, whichever is more fun. It's only available behind a paywall, though. That's how we pay our bills here at Rebel News. We don't take a dime from Justin Trudeau. But the good news is it's only $8 a month, about half the price of Netflix. And in addition to my nightly show, you also get weekly shows from 4 other friends here at Rebel News. So you're getting 36 shows a month just for $8. I think it's worth it. And even if you're not quite sure, do it anyways, because we rely on viewers like you to keep us free and independent. I promise you I'll never take a dime from Trudeau. Just go to rebelnewsplus.com and click subscribe. Thanks.